Hello. Oops. Hang on a second. Got the wrong thing. Um, I am here. Here I am. Hang on. Hello. This is the very first time that I have used this EvMux software, and I had it all set up beautifully. And for some reason, suddenly, when I went live, the image of my sketch that I have just here on my desk appeared. So I don't know what that's about. I'm going to have to do quite a few of these tests, I think, to get this right. I wonder if any of you are here. I know that my friend Lucy is going to be watching, but that's another reason why I wanted to do this as well, is to see if I can see your comments. I've actually got my laptop down here, and it's quite strange because it doesn't seem to be showing me that I'm live. But according to this, I am. And I can see there are 3 people watching. Hello, lovely to have you here. It's completely nerve-wracking. I haven't done this live for so long. I've got my cup of tea here, and I'm warming my hands up on it because it's absolutely freezing here today and quite murky as well. So I don't know if you want to post a comment. I've got a column on my screen, and I'm hoping that something will show up, but it may not. And if this does not work, and I'm going to have to find another way to teach my course, because when I first did experimental still life, oh Lucy, it shows up. Brilliant. That is wonderful news. Hi. I can see you, so I'm just going to post something myself and see if you can see that. Not that I would be typing during our lessons, but I'm just going to say hello back and see if you can see that. Yeah, I can see it, so you probably can too. That's great news. Hi, Angela. Oh, it's lovely to have you. So today I was literally going to talk about a little bit about experimental still life and how it's going to differ this year, or sorry, next year. January 20th is when we start, from previous years. As a lot of you know, I simply released the self-paced version last year. I had a very busy year. It's been really good, but now I feel really ready to dive back in myself and develop my work even more. Hello, Anthony. Lovely to have you. So that's what I'm going to do. But you see, I know from having done it a few times now, the live experience, that while it's really exciting, there's an awful lot in the content, and so many people just skim the surface and didn't really get deep down into the course. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to release a module a month, with the exception of module 4 and module 5, and I'll explain why in a little while. Hi, Claire. Oh, it's so lovely to have you all here. I'm just going to have a cup of tea and try and calm down. Well, not the whole one, because that'll take ages. But and it's quite hot. I actually made one about an hour ago. I finished 10 minutes before I went live, so I had to dash off and make another one. So it's tricky, isn't it? Because I know that a lot of you watching are people who've done the course already, so you know what's involved in it. And of course, with it being live, I'm going to be introducing more to it as I go along, because as you know, I get quite inspired myself, and I'll go off at a tangent and do something else. But essentially, in the first module, which we'd be starting in January, it's all about drawing and mindset. And what else did I want to talk about in there? Yes, meaning. That's something that I didn't really cover a lot in the previous ones. So I really want to talk about the meaning behind our work and how the different approaches are very much process led, and yet, of course, there's meaning behind it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and the sort of symbolism in still life, and what your personal take on it might be, just to help us all think about those aspects when we're developing our work through the course. So that's the first module. So I'm going to release one a month, and then so the next one would come out at the end of February. Just checking these. Angela's asked me a question. Are the modules the same as ESL 1 and 2? Yes, they are, pretty much. The only thing that isn't so much in this one is a lot of, I haven't got hotcakes included in this. Hotcakes is definitely something that's included in the self-paced version. So if any of you doing the self-paced don't realise that you've got that, you have actually got that in your profile area. You'll find it there. So hotcakes is not in that. So I'm not really going into the businessy aspects. But one of the benefits about working with me live, and well, in fact, even the self-paced, is that you can contact me at any point and ask me a question. So I don't mind if you want to ask me any businessy questions at all, privately, or even in the Q&As. Oh, and that's the other thing. I've just hit my microphone. I got this microphone in the post this morning, and is it working? I guess you'd have told me if you couldn't hear me. And also, am I shouting too much? That's another thing. And I need to learn to control these things. I've got this Gabriella Buckingham thing that's popping on now and again in the corner. So yeah, it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't think that's too distracting. Anyway, I thought I'd just share this with you because I think it's working well. Good, thank you, Angela. So this is it. Hopefully you can see that the right way around. Perfect sound every time, YRF. And I know about this because I asked my friend Georgina Noel what she had, and this has just arrived in the post literally this morning. So I thought I'd give it a go. And you just plug it into your phone, which is what I'm going to use as my webcam. I have spent the last week and a half learning so much tech you wouldn't believe, or trying things out. Still not quite getting there. That's one of the things I wanted to share with you as well, is that when I first ran ESL live, I used a software called StreamYard. Now, two things. StreamYard has doubled in price now, so it's about £50-60 a month to run it. But also, and that's a major drawback, but also, this has nothing to do with StreamYard, you cannot stream into Facebook directly and see comments the way one used to be able to. You have to do something quite complicated, which I haven't quite worked out yet. And there doesn't seem to be any benefit in doing that. So I probably won't be going live in Facebook. I will probably be doing private YouTube lives, and I will link up everybody's email that obviously joins the course, so that you can see, you can just go, just like you are now, you can go onto YouTube and see me, but it'd be a private stream, so you'll get an invitation. And that's probably how I'm going to do it. And then obviously I can then download the recordings and put them into the course for anyone that can't make the lives. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Either that, or I'll end up using Zoom, because it's just too complicated, and there's no point in any of you watching it live in Facebook if I can't see your comments, because that's the whole point. When I'm painting, which I do over here with the camera that you'll see in a minute, I like to look at this screen and read your comments, and then I can answer your questions. I can ask you questions too, but the main thing is that you ask questions of me. Oh, good, Lucy. I'm glad that's helpful. Yes, I really recommend it, and it's such good value. It's £24, and I remember asking another teacher that I bought a course from where she got her mic from, and it had a battery pack that she put in her pocket, and she'd actually borrowed it from the cameraman, and it was about, I don't know, £260. So something like this. I think it can plug in an Android as well, but I think it's a C. It might be a C6 connector. So you've just got a little. I'll show it to you another time. I'll do a little thing about it, but it's very good. It seems to be. And I've actually, so it's linked up to my iMac. So I've got an iMac and I've got a new iPhone, which is a whole other thing I've had to learn. And we are. So back to the course itself. So the first module is all about drawing, and this is something you can be doing right from now. If you know you're going to join the course, or even if you know you're not going to join the course, just get drawing. I know how rusty I am. I had my hair coloured the other day, which I'm quite pleased with. And I tried to draw myself with these foils sticking out the side and a black thing over my head. And it was just dreadful, honestly. And it made me realise how rusty I am. So all you need to do is draw for, I don't know, between 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day, ideally. And your drawing's going to improve massively. And that's something that I'm dedicated to from about 3 days ago. I had wanted to do it every single day in December, but the amount of things that I had to learn to sort of get ready for this and launch the course was quite a lot. So I'm always a bit over optimistic, really, about what I can actually achieve. So it's something I've just got to come to terms with. Anyway, so module 2 is all about composition and colour. So we get really deeply into that. We'll work with collage, we'll work with tones and values, and then we can work it in colour sketches, and really build up a feel for the kind of compositions that are exciting to us individually. And then at the end of that module, you paint something based on all the things that you've discovered. So we do things like work with complementary colours and discover how tricky it can be, but also how satisfying, and how the subtle variations in tone can really make the difference between a successful painting or not, that sort of thing. So there's lots of different exercises in each module for you to do. And of course, you can go off in your own tangents, or at your own tangents, and blend these exercises together. And that's one of the ways that you discover your own way of working. It's almost like baking your own cake with your own individual recipe and different measurements. And obviously with baking, you have to be pretty accurate, don't you? But with your painting, anything goes. It really does. It's what makes you feel excited and what you love. Module 3 was definitely one of the students' favourite modules. It's where we really explore different techniques and introduce mixed media, something I'm going to do more of this year. And perhaps the jelly plate. I don't use the jelly plate hugely, but it's so useful and freeing actually to create quite loose shapes. And it's also a wonderful way to paint on your jelly plate and then just literally hold it up over an area of your painting to give you an idea, obviously reversed, to give you an idea of what that shape's going to look like and what the colour will look like. So it's a really useful tool to have. So that's module 3. So that would come out in, let me think, it'd be the end of March, I think. And then module 4 and 5. Module 4 is called Everyone Can Paint a Lemon, and that's all the observational based painting exercises that I've devised. And module 5 is painting from the inside out, and that's all about painting from your imagination. So there are actually, it's two completely diametrically opposed approaches. And actually what I think would be lovely this year, or rather next year, I keep saying this year, is to have both of those modules available so that you can pick and choose. So what I'll do during that 2 month period, what I'll do then is I will pick and choose which exercises I want to do. Like for example, there's 2 floral exercises, one painting from life and one completely from your imagination. So it could be that one week during that 2 month period, I will choose to combine the two or do one approach and then another. And the idea is that you might read through module 4 and read through 5 and decide, actually, I'm really excited by module 5 and I just want to work on that. So that is when you can do that. You see what I mean? I want you to be free to explore, excuse me, what you want to explore. And that way, it's just going to be so much more personally satisfying for you, rather than just doing exactly what I'm doing or just doing exactly what I say to do when I say to do it. So I hope that makes sense. And then module 6 is Let's Abstract. So again, you might have decided that you didn't really want to work a lot observationally. Obviously, I recommend that you do some of that, but that's kind of what module 1 is all about, is really getting your eye in so that you build your confidence with drawing and you embed some of those images, or just your muscle memory will work. It will remember how to do a beautiful ellipse, that sort of thing. And that will come out naturally in your paintings from imagination. So, it really is your choice. You're completely free to explore this in the way that you want to, inspired by the exercises that I set you. And you have 12 months access to the course as well. So it will go on beyond the 7 months. And I know what I'm like. I will probably be popping in between the end of our 7 months together. And I certainly will be following everybody's comments in the group, whichever group you decide to go in, and I'll explain about that in a minute. So module 6 is Let's Abstract. So that's when we really will purely explore abstraction. And you might want to, in that particular module, you probably are going to be abstracting from life, but not necessarily, because you can create your imaginative sketches you can take paintings that you've already done in module 5, the painting from the inside out, and you could abstract those in different ways. Personally, I feel that abstracting from life is, I wouldn't say it's easier. I suppose it's because you've got something to draw from, literally. And we'll explore different ways of doing that, but I think that's the best approach to take. And you end up with something that could be taken from, be perceived to come from life, but it could equally be something very, very ethereal and possibly purely from an image that you've held in your head or a sketch that you've looked at and then shut the book on, and then created something more abstract from your imagination. So there'll be lots of different ways to approach that. And there's also a guest spot with Sally Ann Ashley, who does abstract from life. But it's very interesting to see the way her drawings and painting develop from that. And then module 7 is Let's Go Large. And you can see this painting, if I can lean over here, behind me. This is one I've done really recently, and I absolutely love it. It's very direct. The background painting took longer than the foreground painting, but that is a very emotional response, purely from my imagination. But I absolutely love it, and so does my husband. I have no idea whether anybody else would, but we do. And that's what matters. This is what I want you to discover. I want you to do a painting that makes you feel the way I felt when I did that. So this is not just a painting, more than that. I want you to find your way into a process or a way of thinking, feeling confident in the meaning that you have behind your painting, even if it's purely about freedom, and in my case, bold shapes, and just the feeling that you have while you're painting. If that's something that you want to explore, that's what I want you to end up feeling as if you've achieved at the end of 7 months together. So does that all make sense? Is anyone still here? Yeah, I can see 4 of you are still here. That's great. Does anyone have any questions at this point? I'm going to show you my sketch in a minute that I did yesterday, which was done with Conte. So it's a mixed bag, but I'll talk you through it. And then I'm going to have a go at painting with some high flow acrylic. No questions? Okay, I'm just going to see if I can add this just to show you the sketch that I did. And then I'll also see if I can show you what I drew from, because I have taken a picture of that. Now, the other thing to say is I'm also going to go just duck under this table and turn the light on, but I'll show you what this looks like first of all. And if you can tell me if you feel it's too dark for you to see, that would be really helpful to know. Let me just see if this works. There. So this is the sketch that I did yesterday. And I really enjoyed it. I did it quite late last night. And it really, I realised when I was creating it that it really brought, sorry, I just spotted a question from Claire, completely new to still life. Any tips on drawing? Yes, there will be loads of tips on drawing, Claire, in the course. And I guess from watching this, I'm just going to talk through this a bit, you'll get an idea of how you could do that as well, because this is very much how I naturally draw, I would say, without really trying to work from different techniques. But I'll just point at a few things now. So I noticed very much here on this fork, for example, I really did use this line here that's quite smooth, isn't it? That was very much not looking at the paper at all. That was using blind drawing as a technique, which I really love. And all this can translate, believe it or not, into painting. Obviously not exactly in the same way. You're never going to get these fine lines unless you work with a very fine brush and perhaps acrylic. So that's an example of blind drawing, that very pure line. And then here, of course, I was really looking. I say, of course, it's actually quite messy and not brilliantly drawn, but I did actually get the right amount of prongs. Sometimes when I do a fork, I end up with 3 prongs. This just hasn't been closed up at the top, but I don't mind that. The funny thing about this is that I was very much looking towards the right. So the still life that I have is over there. I'm just going to show you a picture of it so you can see what it was like. You can see particularly this cup is really leaning over, and there was a real temptation for me to come in and just correct that line and make it more upright, but actually I really like it like that. It's quite fun. It is a bit dark. Yes, I'll go and I'll turn on the light actually, Lucy, and then if you could tell me if you prefer it like that, because the light becomes more yellow. Right. How's that? Is that a bit better? Let me know. I'm just doing my clip up on my dungarees. I got these dungarees a while ago, and one side won't undo and the other side pops open all the time. So how's that? Is that looking better? I think it's probably better, isn't it? It's just darker now around here. So I'll show you if I can work out how to do it, I will show you the picture of, here we go, and that didn't work. Let me see if I can. I'm not sure why it won't show you. Right, there we are. There's something I need to practice. Let's see if I can remove this. And then there I am frowning away. Let's see. There. Can you see that? No. Why on earth won't it go over there? Okay, well, what's the best thing to do? I know, if I just turn this over here, you can probably just about see it. There it is. So I was just standing here last night and looking that way and drawing like that. So yeah, I need to practice that. That's very frustrating because I can see, I come out of studio mode and go, right. So now I can only see myself. Let me just see if I can pull this up. Doesn't look like I can. Oh, very frustrating. Right, I shall have to have words with the EvMux people. Okay, now I will go back to this view. Lots of adjusting and clicking. Okay, and then I will do some ink drawing. Let me just see what else I consciously, because as I say, this is the way I drew naturally. And you can see here that I wasn't hugely interested in continuing with the plant, but I love these shapes and the way that some I've filled in, some I haven't. And if you just draw in a way that's natural to you, as if you're just exploring things, and don't try to correct anything, you can see here that I got this shape of this jug completely wrong, if you like, but parts of it are okay. And the darker parts was where I was really kind of trying to refine exactly where it was. But I left these lines in. And certainly when you're sketching, that I think it makes it much more interesting, and it also makes it far more likely that you really will get the lines in the right place as well. Check your comments. Yeah, a bit better. Yes, it's very grey today. I think I'm going to have to buy some lights actually to make sure that I get a really good bright So sorry, you didn't hear any of that, did you? I wonder what happened. Okay, right, teething problems. So I was just talking, I don't know how much you heard. 10 seconds ago, 30. Oh, you missed, yes, you missed me talking about this. So I literally just said, I'm not worried about accuracy. I know this is going to go off the top here. Love that mark, the difference there. It's just interesting to see it. This is a leaf here that I broke off to add. And I am doing quite a lot of blind drawing because my subject is to my right. So I'm not suggesting that you challenge yourself like that, but actually, no, no. Hmm. Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? The green light is back on the mic. About this, everyone. I'm going to put the mic down on the table to see if the green light's still on. Can you hear me now? And I will just, so I think we're going to have to end soon. I will just carry on drawing like this. Right, I'm just going to do my best. I'll just keep painting for a little while and then I'll stop. It seems like I mean I can't keep on just pressing my mic and hoping that you'll hear me. This is a crazy. Yeah, so I really am just doing things as I feel. So I'm adding in shadows. Though, because I can look at the comments. I wonder if I just hold this. An old canvas that you don't like in this way, and I'm quite looking forward to having a go. Sometimes do this just to kind of warm up and work out where the space might be, where the shape is. Okay, I have a mic. I've got my old trusty one. I'm so sorry about that. But, life happens. And there we are. It's a shame you didn't hear what I was saying about this. I did try to press this intermittently and speak, but I don't know if you would have got any of that. I'll watch it back and see if it's worth keeping. But I hope that hasn't completely put you off the course, because I think it'll be really good fun. And the fact that we're doing it over 7 months together, but I will be appearing live once a week on average. I say that because, for example, in February, at the end of February, I'm going for 3 or 4 days down to Sussex for a large-scale abstract painting course, which I'm really looking forward to. So that's going to feed into my module 6, definitely. I'm sure that's going to inspire me to inspire you when I come to do that. So in that instance, if I'm going to have a week where I'm not going live, then I'll probably do 2 lives the previous week. So that's how it's going to work. And I really feel that this is a way that we're going to be able to really immerse ourselves without getting stressed about keeping up. That's the thing, because we've all got busy lives. We've got children, or mine are older now, so one of them's not at home anymore. And those of you that have been with me for the last few years know how emotional I got. I've got over it now. Got over it. He's coming home for Christmas, which is fantastic. But yes, it took me about 3 years to get used to him not being here every time we had to leave him for university. So that's what we're going to be doing. And I hope some of you might be interested in joining, if you haven't already. Okay, I'm going to go now, because I think it's probably about time. I'm sure you've got other things to do. Okay, before I do go, do you have any questions? And there was one thing as well. I want to see if I can do this. Let's see. Oh, yes, look at that. I set that up, and that's working. So if you don't know about experimental still life at all, and this is completely new to you, then please do go and visit. Oh no, that's a sample ticker. That didn't work. Oh my goodness. This is the thing. I am really glad that I did this, because, hang on, let me just get the right one. I want that one. Let's see if it'll work. Yes, here we are. For all the details on experimental still life, visit this URL, https://www.co/ESL2025, and then you can read all about it in perhaps a more coherent way than I am speaking it to you. There are many, many testimonials on that page, which I hope will be reassuring to you. And once I've got the tech aspect figured out, it will be absolutely fine. And I will treat myself to some lights, I think, and set up this tiny space in a way that will be more fun to watch. Okay, does anybody have any questions before I go? I can see there's at least 3 of you left. Thank you very much for your patience. I think that's probably it. I'm wondering if I had anything else I wanted to share with you. The main thing about this 7-month process is you're going to avoid overwhelm. Oh, thanks, Helen. I'm really glad you're looking forward to it. That's great. And you get to see me do the same thing. And I've already mentioned that you get one-to-ones with me whenever you like. Only during the week, you can ask me any questions. And that's another thing to say. I'm debating whether or not to open a Facebook group. I did want to, because I thought I could go live into it. And it may be that I figure out the tech and I can work out how to do that and see comments at the same time. I think if I'm going live in YouTube and I'm going live in Facebook, I'll certainly be able to see comments that are made privately on YouTube. But I'm not confident at the moment that I'd be able to see any comments from Facebook. So that's the problem there. So it could be that I end up doing Zooms in the course platform itself, because I believe that you can do webinars through Zoom, and that way I'll just have a slightly different camera set up, and I'll have to, anyway, you don't need to know all the nitty-gritty about that. I will work it out. I've got time now, between now and January 20th. But one thing I wanted to say to you, is that, of course, you can show me your work in whichever group you happen to be in, whether it's the Facebook group or the course platform group. And then you can either ask questions of me privately, or you can just share questions in the groups and get feedback there. So, all right, I shall go now and let you have a lovely Friday. Have a great weekend, and see you sometime next week when I might do another test, if you can bear it. All right, bye. You're welcome, Lucy. Thank you so much for sticking through it all. Bye.